Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
Crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
Oh, yeah, baby. We back for another great episode of the Coach Me Coach podcast. Already on episode 48. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good in the chat. Got a couple of people already stopping through. Let me make sure. Okay, we got a couple of thumbs up. Appreciate it. We got the producer in the building. Shout out to the producer, LMV. Loving that picture there, LMV. I'm loving it. All right. She said, what Prime said. Well, I'm going to let you know what he said here in a few seconds. But before we go ahead and get started, he has, I guess, maybe put his foot in his mouth. We'll definitely find out. I do have a poll running at the top. It says, how do you feel about Coach Prime's comments? Do you feel like he was right or do you feel like he was wrong? Currently, right now, I have 58% wrong, 42% right. So with that being said, make sure you go ahead and vote on that poll. You don't really change the thing, but it's just something fun and interactive to do. Also, I got a special guest in the background. But before we do that, we have a lot to talk about. And I want to kind of talk about his comments. Coach Prime, during the Rich Eisen show, it's kind of trending, and he put on his topics he said that he was breaking down certain attributes when he's in the recruiting world and how he's looking for different players, different positions, what he looks for in those players. And he was talking about the family structure. As you see on the thumbnail, I put up there, Coach Prime tells a recruiting secret, which is the family structure. I'll get into what I mean by that in a little bit. All right. But just to kind of give you overall, and I will play the audio. I'm trying not to play the video. Hopefully they don't copyright strike this video. If they do, it's all good. I appreciate it. But if you do like the content that we do produce on this channel, please do so or support this by doing so at PayPal, as you see right here, or Cash App as well, or Super Chat. So you can do one of those three options. All the information is in the description as well. And if you do Cash App, we'll definitely throw your dono up on the screen. We got a way to do that now. We can make it right. Look at that. All of a sudden, the poll has flipped. It is now 52% right and 48% wrong. This should be interesting tonight. And my guest, I think he got a different view on tonight's topic. I don't know. I'm going to open up the phone lines as well. And I want to hear from some mothers. I want to hear from some dads who are coaches. I want to see your perspective when it comes to his comments. And do you think he was accurate in there? All right. So let's go ahead and jump straight into this thing. And let's talk about Coach Deion Sanders, a.k.a. Coach Prime, and his comments and what he said also. I'm going to play the audio here. Let me know if you guys can hear it. I'm going to play it all the way out, and then I'm going to kind of talk about it. And again, if you're new to this channel, I speak a lot of things from a coach's perspective. I talk from a coach's perspective, and I like to have, because I have to say I may be a little jaded because I am speaking from a coach's perspective, but I do like to have guests come on. I like to hear from people who call in to hear that other side of it. All right. So that'll be very interesting. Also, as you see down here, all right, we'll be posting our latest subscribers and chat and all that good stuff. Coach trying to up this thing a little bit, so we're going to make it happen. And again, we'll open up the phone lines here after we get a little bit of a breakdown from this audio. So as I play this audio, I would like to have a little bit of thumbs up. Ellen, if you wouldn't mind, give me a quick thumbs up if you can hear the audio nice and clear. I'm going to preface this audio so I don't have to go through all of this by saying Rich Eisen and Deion Sanders were talking about Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. And Deion Sanders was saying that he's a winner. He went through a lot of trials and tribulations going, Alabama, going over to Oklahoma, and he's a winner. All right. So that's what he was talking about. And then Rich Eisen, you'll hear that part, ask him, can you tell when you walk into these living rooms, can you see that kind of talent in these players? And then Deion proceeds to say, hey, well, this is what we look for. This is our kind of our criteria. This is kind of our checklist of what we're looking for when we're looking at players and position specific. So that's important. Let's go ahead and do this. It won't be any video, just audio. Hopefully, I'm trying to learn something new so they don't keep copyright striking me because YouTube is tough. And then I'll get to some of these comments. All right, here we go.
Alabama wasn't kind, but that propelled him to Oklahoma, and he did his thing, you know. And the kid he's a winner. You can say what you want about him. At the end of the day, he wins, and he comes up.
Can you tell who that is just by talking to him now that you're walking in the living rooms and you're seeing more and more and more?
We have different attributes: smart, tough, fast, disciplined with character.
Yep.
We're looking at now quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent. We want that kid to be 3, 5 and up because he got to be smart. Not bad decisions off the field at all, because he has to be a leader of men. It's so many different attributes and what we look for when we see a quarterback. And you would love a coach's son. Somewhere that the coaches coached him, and I'm not going down my road. I see you smiling because
I know who your quarterback is.
He's
right
talking
now.
about my son. I didn't just build a template for my son, but that's what really we look for in quarterbacks. Different positions are different. Like O lineman, I look for dual parent homes,
right?
A strong father that they adhered to,
right?
Smart kid, at least 3.3. and above.
You're also describing Hurts.
Yeah, tough.
Well. I mean,
physical. I mean, offensive lineman. Defensive lineman is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama. Trying to get it. He's on free lunch. I mean, I'm talking about just trying to make it. He trying to rescue mama. Like mama barely made the flight.
Trying to get out the mud.
And I want him to just go get it. It's a whole different attributes that you look for in different positions. And we have that stuff just chronicled. We know what we want and we go get it.
Deion Sanders here on the Rich Eisen Show.
You don't have to establish.
All right. Hopefully, cut this back down. All right. Hopefully you heard that loud and clear and you had a chance to hear it. So if you didn't hear those comments, we played it for you at the risk of being copyright strike. So again, the poll has now flipped 56-44 wrong, meaning wrong is in the lead. It's interesting. The thing is going back and forth. I'm sitting here watching the poll jump up and down. But let me go ahead and let the cat out of the bag a little bit before I bring my guest on. What Deion Sanders said in there, a lot of people may agree. A lot of people may disagree. But I'm going to tell you what happens. That happens in every coaching staff, especially ones that I've been a part of. When you are recruiting a player, you want to know everything about them. These players are probably around $500,000 investment each. I'm talking about from a 5-year deal, from just the scholarship, the tuition, the food, the medical, the insurance, the flight, all of those things over a 5-year period. They're probably about $100,000 a year kid, bringing it to roughly around $500,000. And I'm talking Power 5 football, surgeries, all kind of stuff. When you go out on the recruiting trail, we used to have a prospect sheet. Linebackers, running backs, everybody puts the type of guys they're looking for. Because when coaches go to recruit, I may be the D-line coach and I'm going to Miami. I need that prospect sheet because I'm not just looking for D linemen. I may be looking for running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, and I need to know what those guys are looking for so I can take it back to those particular position coaches as it goes up the chain in the hierarchy. So I say that to say I'm a D-line coach. I go see a wide receiver. As I look and I check on the list, coach, I'm looking for a guy that's 6'2", runs a 4.5 or less, 185 pounds or more, quick twitch, yada, 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 yada. That's what you're kind of looking at. Now, here's what happens next. Once he passes that checklist and we like him, now the investigative piece becomes, who is he? Where's, of course, the grade part too. But now, what is his character like? Is he a good teammate? Is he a this? Is he a that? And a lot of these questions start to get checked off the deeper he gets into the recruiting pool. They don't do it at the initial state because it's not worth the time or effort if he's not worthy. But as they get deeper into the recruiting of this young man, they start digging deeper and deeper and deeper into him. Does he have a girlfriend? How long they been together? Trust me. And you see a lot of this stuff in coaches. And now, especially what Coach Prime was saying was, he was talking about position specific, not across his whole team. And I'm going to go into a little bit and then I'll bring my guest on. For the quarterback, he's the leader of the team, not just the offense, but the team. He is the face of the program. And he's saying, I'm looking for a dual parent household, mother, father. That's what he says. 3.5 or above. What does that mean? He has the smarts. Okay. He makes good decisions off the field. Why is he worried about what he does off the field? Because if your quarterback, you can ask the University of Florida, who just went through this with their backup quarterback, who has some child pornography charges, that hits way different than the 3 technique, making some off the field bad decisions. They dig deep in there. Then he also said something. We also want to see if his daddy was a coach, right? His daddy coached him at some point, whether it was little league, high school, middle school ball, whatever. Why is that important? Because now that kid has probably a leg up from the football IQ standpoint. These are the things that coaches, not just Coach Prime let the cat out the bag, but these are the things that coaches are looking for. Then he said offensive line, dual parent, but he mentioned the daddy more. He said a daddy that he adheres to. Why is that important? Because you're going to get a lot of yelling and in your face. And if a lot of these guys, and I work in the school system, I see it all the time. And again, when I'm talking, these are generalities. Nothing is 100% in life. Nothing. But can this kid handle another grown man hammering him down, fussing him down, not MFing him up and down the field and in practice, but just being tough on him and being tough on him and being tough on him? Will he tuck tail and run? Will he fold up? So they're trying to get an edge when they're looking at these type of guys. They're trying to get an edge when it comes to coaching. So now I don't have to worry about that first year of him worried about how he talked to me. So instead of him being focused on how I said something, he's more focused on what I said. Okay. Now he goes to the defensive side of the ball. He said, I'm going to the defensive side. He said, I want to get a single mama. I want a dude that's trying to get it. I want one where basically there's a struggle in there in some sense. And he's not saying that that's a bad thing. That's how I take it. He's saying it's a motivating thing. It's a thing where I am so motivated because I've seen my mom struggle. I got to get it. I got to have it at all costs. I.e., look at himself. Go watch his Hall of Fame speech. He talks about his mom, how she would never have to work again, how he created this persona of prime time. He laid in his bedroom, in his bed in his dorm, and he came up with prime time, so his mama wouldn't have to work again. That's the kind of dude he's looking for, where the hunger is already instilled. Maybe it was a bad analogy, bad choice of words in there, but I'm telling you, it's coaches that look for guys like that. Now, let's clean it up. Does that mean that Deion Sanders would not take it? Because he didn't say, I only want. He said, I want, or we look for. Does that mean that he won't take a young man that's got a quarterback that has a single mom? I don't think so. I think that's the furthest from the truth. Will he not take a defensive lineman who got mommy and daddy in the house? No, he definitely will. But he was talking about when you're looking for these players and you start to do that deep dive, where's his hunger level? Where's his drive? What is his motivation? Where is his why? That's what Coach Prime, I believe, is talking about when he's talking about the single mom. And he used her or used them as an analogy in that sense. That's where I look at it. Real quick, we have 52-48. Wrong is in the lead. They say 51%, and I say he's wrong. All right, go ahead. We currently got 135 people in here and 82 votes. So I need y'all to catch up on that. I really appreciate that. So I said all that to say, I want to hear from the people. I'm going to bring my guest on, but before I do, I want to give love to a dono that we got here on Cash App. So big shout out here to Cash App. I don't put your name up on Cash App. Some of you guys use your government name, but big shout out from Dread for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Don't worry about that time down there. It's wrong. But big shout out to Dread for the $20 on Cash App. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Means a lot. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, about to bring in my man's right here, 50 grand. I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to clap it up. Clap it up. Make some noise. Get your juice in the air for my dog, V12 in the building.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's V to the 1 to the 2. That's 12 if you can't count. What's up, Coach? We in the building, and they hot at Dion, huh? They mad at Coach. They mad at Coach.
They hot
Coach again.
They hot at Coach again. And here's the problem, 12. And we're gonna talk about it. I want to hear your synopsis, I guess the right word, of what you heard. I know you've done some research on it.
Yeah. No,
but they hot with him right now.
Right.
And a lot of the moms are hot with him. I'll say this before I go. Big shout out. You know who that is right there. Big shout out to D in the building. What's up, boy?
All right.
All right. So it's a lot of people mad at him. You see in the comments, I'm watching the comments go back and forth. One guy say, Coach hard, hug later. Some women are hot. What you mean? I'm a single mom. I could raise a son. I don't think that's what he was saying. But what's your point on it, brother?
Yeah, here we have to, I saw him when reading some of the chats, and we have to understand the way how you explained it. Dion, to me, wasn't trying to disparage the single parent household, the single mother. He wasn't trying to disparage the single parent at all. He focused on the mother, but I guess it could be the father. He wasn't trying to disparage them. He was just trying to explain, I thought, the motivating piece behind why, from a D-line perspective, why he would prefer that type of person. But like you eloquently explained, Coach, he didn't say that's the only type of person he's looking for. So the first point to me is that, hey, he's not trying to disparage. And of course, there are a plethora of single mothers who can raise the family, raise athletes, raise sons and daughters to do great things. But we have to be real about it. And like you say, you let the cat out the bag, Coach. It's no different than when you have an organization that has a preference. You understand? So for as a teacher, they may prefer that you have the PE credentials over the biology credentials when you apply as for being a physical education teacher. So to have a preference is not a bad thing to me in this aspect, because like you said, what's the difference? People always know that when you're looking for a ball player, a lot of those ball players, they come from different places around the world, but particularly a lot of them come from the inner cities. That's what made Miami great in the beginning. We had to recruit what they called the dogs, who they had the motivation. And we know how it could be down at the crib, where there may not have been a lot of fathers in the home at the time. Not to say there aren't any, but there may not be a lot of fathers in the home. But again, for him to say that coming from a single family home, mother, I don't think he was saying it in a disparaging. He wasn't coming from a negative place when he made that comment about single mothers.
So let me ask you a question. I just told you coaches do this all the time, but because he decided to speak on it, and you could see Rich Eisen's face, he got super uncomfortable, right? I can't show it. But there's another gentleman, I don't know who he is. On this panel, there's a white gentleman, there's a black gentleman in the middle, there's another white gentleman. And there's the guy in the back is laughing, like, oh my God. But he's laughing out of like secondhand embarrassment. Like, oh my God, Deion Sanders. Like, I can't, like you saying this, like he's laughing, like, but I think he's laughing like, oh gosh, this could look funny. And there is a quote unquote racial component because you talk about quarterbacks, 2-family home. But then I think Deion got caught up in the moment because he was, real lighthearted in this interview. And then he kind of added to it. I want one, almost missed a plane. I want one that, and I think that's what that little emphasis on those kind of things where he talked quarterback. I want this. I want 2-parent, blah, blah, blah. But then when he got to the defense, he was like, I need to do a single mama. I need one that almost missed a plane, blah, 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 blah. But then he kind of fixed it in to say, like, look, because I want him to get it at all cost. And I think that's what Deion looks at even within himself, that his whole motivation was for that lady not to ever work again.
Yeah, we have to be careful. There is a racial component to it, but we have to be careful because I don't know the breakup. I don't know if it was black mothers who were upset, white mothers who were upset. He never indicated a race. He just said single mother. Now, we all assumed, is it only black folks that come from single parent household? That'd be a negative. So we have to be fair on both sides. Now, if you would have said, oh, from single parent black women, then I could see, oh, you raise up. But he said it in general. And let me double down on this, Coach. Look, they want to talk about the racial component of white QBs in dual family homes. But remember the context in which he was talking about a black quarterback, which is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing when he's talking about Jalen Hurts, whose father and mother are in the home. That's what he's talking about. And I could name other,
Patrick Mahomes.
But hold on, Patrick Mahomes, Cam Newton. The list goes on. Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner. I tell you what, Coach. When Caleb Williams won the Heisman, I think I told you this. I woke my son up to hear what he was saying about his parents, and particularly his father. Yeah, there is an aspect of attributes you do look for, but you don't discount anyone else. And Deion is smart enough to know that. And I don't think that's what was in his heart. So again, yeah, you may want to say, oh, well, he's trying to isolate black quarterbacks because majority of the QBs would probably come from white families, which may not be true. We've gave you a few examples of other quarterbacks in college, in the NFL. They do have dual family homes. Sure. Now, my question to you, Coach, and I think we had this argument.
I'm gonna segue into it. Because I want to finish this out, and then we're gonna segue in because the chat is on.
Somebody said Bryce Young. Yeah, it's a number.
It's plenty of guys.
Yes.
And so what he's saying is like you use the great word. That's the preference. I don't think that's the end all be all. What? He ain't got no daddy in the house. No. But we do know this. We do know when fathers are in the home, it does positively affect the outcome of the child. We know that.
Absolutely.
That is shown. Yes, but
right.
That doesn't mean that a single mother can't fulfill that. My mom was a single mom, right?
Exactly.
My father passed away at a very young age, and my mom held it down. You understand?
Absolutely.
And so, Mama Duck don't play, boy. You understand?
Don't get friends with neighbors unless she's a hater.
And boy, I'm trying to tell you. But so with that being said, I think that's the furthest thing from what he was saying. I think he was saying using it as motivation. That's where I want to go.
But let me ask you this, Coach. Let me ask you this, Coach. Do you think, and you know, Dion has sometimes has a philosophy. Do you think he said that to kind of say, hey, prove a point, say we may need more dual families in our community? Although he didn't come out and say it, but is that something that he was probably thinking in that statement? That's a possibility.
Yeah, I don't think he was thinking that deep. Like, I'm gonna say this to spark a thing about, you know, dual family homes, but I think that's a little deeper than that conversation. I just truly think he was honestly speaking about that. And here's why I say that. Even in the NFL, when they're drafting players, they don't draft them just because of their ability on the field. Bro, they have psychologists and psychiatrists who break these guys down. Again, why do these guys take the Wonderlic test? Why do these guys take certain tests to play a game? Because these are major, major investments. Even though they're human beings, they are huge investments. Bro, look at these players. They're making $200 million. You don't just throw that out there and say, hey, this dude might be wacky-tacky over here. Does he fit? Now, again, it's not an exact science, but in the same breath, there's a lot of investigating that goes on. Bro, when I've had former players that go to the league, they will send or call and say, hey, coach, have you ever had this player say anything outlandish? They ask me stuff about terrorism. Coach, has he ever said he feel like blowing up stuff? I'm like, huh? These are the questions they're asking. Coach, how is he with his guys? Does he hang with a large group of people? Does he hang with a small group? Do you think he's in a gang? These are questions they're asking because these are true investments. And we all know the NFL hires former FBI agents to do these background checks and so forth and so on. You're right. That's what they do. So I said all that to say that's what that is. I want to say this last piece before I segue into what you want to speak about. I think sometimes we jump on people too fast because this same thing, like I told y'all, these same things have been said by all coaches, whether you're a black head coach, white head coach, coaches in general, even in high school. Now, we don't have to pick of the litter. We can't recruit guys like that, wink, wink. But we do know you can look at players and tell when daddy in the house. You can. You can look and tell. Now, am I saying that it's always accurate? No. But you can tell if a person has a strong parental household.
What are the characteristics? What are the characteristics that you see on the field that can tell?
So, for example, when you get on a young man, right, and you see these things, you see, guess what you always see at practice for the majority of the time? Dad gonna be at practice. He may be living vicariously through his son, but you're gonna see him a lot of the times at practice. You're gonna see dads asking, Coach, how can I get him better? Even if he's not an athlete himself. Coach, what do I need? It's very rare. I'm not saying all cases, but it was very rare I ever had a mom come in and say, Coach, what do I need to do extra for him? Coach, do you know a trainer I can use to get him better? Yada, 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 yada. Mom is more nurturing. Mom wants to make sure he has everything. Dad want to make sure he gets better at it. I hope that kind of makes sense. And again, these are generalities, guys. Like, please. So you can also tell when there's a weak parental thing in the house. When the kid run the household, you can tell when such and such. You can tell how a guy greets you. You can tell how a guy shake your hand. Now, I'm not saying that's a mom or dad thing, but we're talking about a strong parental presence at the house. If it's yes, sir, no, sir, my dog, da, 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 talk back, late to practice, all of those kind of things, you know? Those are the differences when you see that. And that's the psychology of this game. You know, again, what I'm saying, don't try to break every syllable down. Well, Coach Hayes said only that. No, I didn't say that. I'm saying that when parents, you can see the difference. I'll put it to you that way. You understand me? Let's segue into this, and it's a perfect segue by Shad right here for the $4.99. The irony of this is based on his criteria. Shador wouldn't have been a QB he would have wanted. So, Shad, I love you to death. $4.99, thank you. I don't think he's saying he would not have wanted him. He was a preference. See, I want to make sure that's clear. And maybe he used the wrong word wanted. Maybe he could have said, we prefer, or we look highly towards, or we give him a higher ranking, something to that effect. I still think he would have wanted that. I'm gonna let you go into this because I also have a rebuttal, because he said dual parent. Does that also mean co-parenting? Does that mean that, yeah, mom and dad may not be together, but they are in that child's life? You see that a lot. That doesn't mean, we're not talking about absent fathers, that he don't know who dad is. He hasn't talked to dad. Dad is not part of his life, blah, blah, blah. We're talking about just because dual parent doesn't mean married. He said dual parent. He didn't say married parents. So if we want to split hairs about what he said, then let's split hairs on everything he said. What's your take on that, 12?
I think Deion was alluding to the intact family structure. Now let's just call a spade a spade. I'm not going to let you off with that. He was alluding to the intact family structure. Dad in the home with mom, siblings, or whatever. So we're talking about inside the home, meaning being there 24/7, 7 days a week. No, I don't think there's any questions about that. To Shad's point, he's absolutely right, because Deion himself, Pilar, for a very long time, he divorced Pilar maybe in 2013. So Shador was 11. So if he's saying that, he's actually talking about his own son as well, because even though he was a coach, they did not have an intact family. So Deion has this. That's why I said I don't think Deion was speaking from a negative place, because he's pretty much talking trash about his own son, because he's not in the household he wasn't in the household for many years with Shador. So that's why I'm saying, like, when he's talking, sometimes Deion, he's very emphatic. He's very boisterous. He's like an old freelance rapper. He may say things and then you got to catch himself. And I don't think he's saying it. He was saying it in a negative way. So yeah, I put it from that point. Yeah, I don't think we're saying it in a negative way. What's up?
Sherrod Williams says, wrong in the sense of promoting single parent homes. I think we need to break that culture, but I get what he's saying. He would have been good in just saying he wants hungry football players. Yeah, I can agree with that. But like I said, I think, again, he was breaking it down. And he may have embellished a little bit, right? He's on the show. He knows Rich Eisen. They got history. They like to take little shots, just like at the very end of this clip when Rich Eisen says, we're here with Deion, saying, hey, man, you ain't got to introduce me, man. Like, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. So they have that kind of connection. But again, I still think I understand, right? I was watching another show. And I'm going to go back and say this, because I did see this, and I don't know why I couldn't find this clip. But somewhere I heard him say, I want a kid, because he didn't just say the hood. He said, I want a kid from the trailer park, a kid from the hood. I want a dude that went hunting and got a deer in the back of the truck. Like, he said those things. So he covered it, and maybe that was on the McAfee show, if I'm not mistaken, 12. Was that on McAfee?
Yeah,
show?
yeah, it was on the McAfee show where he broke it down. And guess what, guys? Some of those ladies and gentlemen, some of those stereotypes, he was in a sense stereotyping. Because we'll say, I want somebody we want O-lineman from Nebraska. Or we want speed from Miami. We do it all the time. Or from Texas, even as fans, we do it. Subconsciously we say stuff like that. So I don't think he was trying to be negative. Again, I don't think it was any malice in his heart when he was explaining that, because he tried to make sure he covered all bases to make sure it wasn't seen as a race thing. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But like I said, I think he was just trying to say tough and rugged dudes. You know what I mean? I'm just looking for some tough and rugged cats, so forth and so on. Right here, O-Dog for the $5. I appreciate you. He said, hey, coach, my son come from a 2-parent household and plays D1 football. Coach, you was describing me, always at practice and making sure he was working. There you go, old dog. You know what I mean? Appreciate you for the $5. Thank you so much. So yeah, you see,
coach, you know, coming from the crib, with some beasts, and the sisters raised them straight up. Now, but
we're not talking about players. I'm not talking about being a beast on the field. We're talking about the characteristics and the character more of the player than we're talking about the football attributes he has. You understand what I'm saying? We're talking about the kind of person, more or less. And again, I want to be clear because y'all will take, well, Coach Hayes says single family, so a single mom mean that the kids are out of control. No, that's not what we're saying. That is first of what I'm saying. What I'm just saying is that you can tell, dog. And I've been in these school systems so long. The same way I can look at a kid and just by the way he walks and the way his feet kind of turn, I can tell that kid can run. The same way when you do at your job, right? What you do at your job, you know straight up what it is and what it ain't. For the most part, you probably about a 95% hitter on being right or wrong because you've dealt with so many type of kids. Does that mean you're 100%? Never said you were going to be 100% right. Just like me, I'm not going to say I'm 100% right. But you do something long enough, you start saying, okay, this dude a ball player, or this dude not, or this dude's an a-hole, or this dude is not. Man, this dude got great family structure. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean mom only raised him, but that's neither here nor there in that sense. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
No, I mean I get it. I just think people that comment in the chat. Sometimes we as people we take things so literally at the time, and sometimes that's not even the intent. But we live in a world of social media, and everything you say is going to be criticized. Again, I don't think there was any ill will in what he was saying. I think he tried to cover all bases. I think he tried to be inclusive. That's the word that they're using now in the profession, in Fortune 500 companies and in government. He's tried to be inclusive of everyone. And when he spoke about kind of every sector of what he was looking for and why there's certain different attributes that they may possess when coming from certain households or things of that nature.
Right.
I can see why. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, yeah. So to that point, we're going to get up here on these phone lines in about 2 minutes. We're going to jump on the phone lines. I already got some people in the background. I mean, they didn't save Coach new number. I see them already here in the background calling in, so I'm excited for that. So, guys, you can call in when we open up the phone lines. It'll put you in a queue. I'll call the last 4 digits of your phone number to let you know I'm coming to you. So if you come in, that's good. I'll give you 2 minutes to chop it up. All right, you hear that? You hear this right here? Let me go back. You hear the? That means land the plane. Got your last little bar to come out your mouth. If you keep going, we're gonna crash the plane, dog. We got to move on. If I allow you to continue to talk and go on so forth, that means nobody else is called in. Enjoy your time on there. So we'll do that here in a few seconds. Let me go back to what you were saying about Deion. I want to respond to that a little bit. I don't know. He may have been. I think he was very wise and very, very careful with the choice of the word dual parent. Like I said, I believe Deion Sanders was a part of those kids' lives. He coached his son since Little League, not just high school. He coached him since Little League. So he's been around. Now, did he have to go off and do his job when he was commentating and stuff? Sure he did. But I think he was an integral part in those young kids' lives when they were young. He didn't just show up and say, okay, I'm going to start coaching. Y'all want to come play? No, he coached them from along the way. Here's another thing he said that was super important about a quarterback. He said, I want their dad to have been a coach. Why? That helps. Said it helps out with the football IQ, so forth and so on.
Let me just say this. From the literal term of what two-parent or dual parent, it means two parents with a common child residing in the home. Point blank, drop the freaking mic. And so he would not have qualified. Okay. Now and I'm with Prime now, but he wouldn't have qualified. So by his own admission, Pilar was a single parent for some time. Okay, so he has to kind of break that down some more. He probably should have got pressed on that some more. But by dual two-parent, there was an inference, right? There's an inference being made. Come on now, talk to me, TSU. The inference being made, two parents with a common child residing in the same home. Bottom line.
You can say inference. I look at it both ways. I just think I think that because the reason I say that, I think that the word dual was very important because he would have said parents who are married, and he didn't say that. Because typically most people say, "Hey man, I'm looking for a guy whose parents are married."
Coach, again, we have to read what. Listen,
I think we're talking semantics here, dog.
No,
we're talking
no.
semantics.
Remember, we are talking about in context of Jalen Hurts. We can't avoid the context. That's why context, the four corners, is so important.
Jalen Hurts was what led to this because Rich Eisen asked him,
when that was part of the conversation. That's part of the conversation.
Yeah, but when Rich Eisen when Rich Eisen led to the next question, he says, so with all of that, can you see guys like him as you walk into these living rooms? And then he went on down his checklist, and you can tell that is something he's talked about before. He didn't just be like, these kind of guys I want. He said, we chronicle this stuff. We look at these different things. We look at all these different stuff, blah, blah, blah. All right, real quick, it's interesting, man. I'm going to move on to the phone line. Boy, 2 minutes go fast. That was 4 minutes ago. It is literally split 50-50 with 157 votes. That's interesting right there. I'm going to go here to the phone line. Like I said, you guys can call in. The phone number is coming up right here. I'm also scrolling down at the bottom as well, just in case it's a little too small on your phone or maybe on your screen. So that is the phone number there, scrolling at the bottom, 862-799-9956. You can call in. You can ask myself, V12, or you just want to just vent and get your point across. You're more than welcome. Let me get this last $5 in Dono before I take this next call. OG, $5 again. He says, myself, I came from a single-parent home, played D1 football, and played pro ball. My mom was the motivation to get her out the hood. I played D-line. Wowzers. Appreciate you, Q-Dog, excuse me. Appreciate you, Q-Dog. Thank you for that. And again, that doesn't mean it's 100%, right? For example, let's look at the Bosa brothers. Let's look at Chase Winovich. Let's look at a lot of guys who played D-line, those particular things. Hell, I could look at Devin Bush. That's my dog. He got both his parents in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they're always both ways, but we can go back and forth with that forever. But I do want to hear from the people. We currently got a couple of people on the line in here, and I'm excited to see them in the building. I'm coming to 5485 first. Let me get this set. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second. Apologize. All right, let me get that set first. All right, we going in here. I got the number up. Guys, more than welcome to call in to get your point of view, whatever the case may be. You got 2 minutes to get it off your chest. Let's let them ride. Coming to you, 5485. Call or talk to us. Give us your name, where you're calling from.
This is Warren. I got 3 things to say. First off, good evening, gentlemen. 3 things.
Warren.
Kyle, I'm terribly sorry that you lost your father so early in life. That is my heart breaks for anybody that loses a parent at an early age, like a friend of mine did. So I know how tough that can be. I'm not personally, but I've been around some close friends that had it. It altered their lives.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Second, 12, you were absolutely right about Deion, which to my third point, Deion is 100,000,000,000% correct. If people don't like the fact that he scrutinizes and looks beyond how they do on the field and how they're going to act in the classroom, on the street, at the club, and wherever they are, he's taken all those things into consideration. Kudos to him. It's unfortunate that this 55 generation that we have today, or society that we have, people are so afraid to hear the truth. You know, he's being completely honest. He's looking at all aspects of a kid's life. and he knows who does well in certain positions. Is it etched in stone? Obviously not, but it's a good indicator. All right. And on that, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of your show. And good to hear you back on V12. Talk to you guys.
Thank you, Warren. Always nice to hear your voice, man. I can't wait. Hey, we coming now.
Better find your own slogan.
I can't wait.
We just got to, hey, Warren, we just got a running back coach, yes. Ice Harris Jr. All right, so Tim Harris, which is Ice's son, is back in there, man. But we're going to talk about that. I just want to let you know because they've been putting it all in the chat, man.
I'm excited because he's building what he wants. Let's give it time.
Yes, sir.
With that, I'm out of here. Bye,
appreciate
guys.
it. Bye. Thanks a lot, Warren.
Take care.
All right, man. Big shout out to Warren in the building. We got our next caller calling in. Anything you like to say before I get to the next caller, Twill?
Oh, no. I mean, it's a good conversation to have, you know, and I'm glad that you share your perspective. And none of this is like, I want to make sure, look, it's not 100%. Their preferences, you know. I know you prefer, you know, women with small feet, but that don't mean you won't date one with a size 12. I mean, so it's always, you know, so.
That's just going to put me out, though, boy. I thought you were gonna put your dog to sleep. I was like, I'm trying to find a mute button, boy.
So listen. So for all ladies out there, Coach, hey, he prefers small, but if you got some size 12s, he ain't gonna turn you down. That's just his preference, you know.
I love it, man. Boy, you almost got me. Let me go get to the next caller. Coming to you right now, 6455. Come. He almost got me going. We got 222 people in the building. We are talking about Coach Prime and his comments he said on Rich Eisen's show about different characteristics and family structures when it comes to recruiting players. Call in. Let's hear your thoughts as well as go ahead and hit the chat. It is literally still split 50-50 with 165 votes. Call or talk to us.
Hey, Coach Hayes.
Is this Lexus?
How are you?
I told you, boy, Lexus, you a fan now, Lexus. You a fan. Come on, admit it.
I am not a fan, okay? I'm just not.
What size shoe you wear, Lexus? Lexus.
I am not a fan.
Lexus, what size shoe you wear, Lexus?
Say hello to B12 as well because I've never seen him before. It's a different face.
Hey, Lexus. Hey, oh, that means you must have joined the party late. You tardy for the party. Shout out Zim Zodiac. You tardy for the party.
Lexus, let me ask you a question. I done asked you twice now. You ain't answered. What size shoe you wear?
I wear size 8.
8 in men's or 8 in ladies?
All right.
I'm a lady, and I wear size 8 ladies.
I heard that. All right, Lexus.
7.5.
All right, talk to us, Lexus. What's your thought? You got 2 minutes on the line. Talk to us.
Okay, listen here. First of all, let me just say in general, when Coach Prime and anybody else is speaking, can we do ourselves a favor, please? Let's do what like my mother used to tell me all the time. When I used to get mad at sometimes something that my pastor say after church, and I come home and say, Mama, he shouldn't have said that. My mama said, let me train you on something, baby. Sometimes, no matter how you love a person, how you respect them, and how you believe what they say, sometimes you got to learn to eat the fish and throw out the bones, okay? So just don't take things so serious. Don't get on top of the building. Don't go get your nearest gun because somebody said something that's a little off. Now, we know Dion. We know Dion. He going to talk. He going to talk. And when a person that talk like Dion talk, he going to slip and say something that's going to make somebody mad. First of all, if Dion say everything right, he's going to piss somebody off because he just got a lot of haters right now, period. That's the first problem. And then secondly, there's going to be times. He's human. He ain't God. So he's going to speak and misspeak sometimes. We need to get the heck over it because at the end of the day, all that's going to matter is can he go out there and coach and win some football games. They don't care about all this other stuff. This is a good conversation for us to have. It's good for you to put it on your channel for us to sit here and vote and talk about it. But at the end of the day, he got to win. Bottom line. And if he don't do that, then that's going to be a whole nother conversation. And if he does, he's going to have some more haters that come out the woodwork. So listen here. I am a Dion Coach Prime Sanders fan to the bone. I wouldn't have found Jackson State if it wasn't for him. I probably wouldn't have found you, Coach Hayes, if it wasn't for him because I started watching a lot of these YouTube channels having all of these discussions. That's just keeping it 100 now. And so I ain't too much he gonna say that's gonna piss me off. When he said something piss me off, I said, Dion acting a fool now. And I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna eat the fish and throw out the bones, like my mama taught me. You gentlemen have a good night. Bye.
Bye-bye. Boy, you
Thank
talk
you.
about landing a plane perfectly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how you land a plane, Lexus. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Coming to 7476 in a second. 12, talk to us. You just met Lexus for the first time. She came on a couple weeks ago, and you know, she say she ain't no fan. I'm gonna make her a fan.
Yeah,
But talk
well,
to
listen,
us.
it sounds like she's very comfortable because she told us to eat the fish and throw out the bones.
And throw away the bones.
So listen, if Lexus said, y'all heard what she eat the fish and throw out the bones. Leave it to interpretation. But hey, listen, she found you talking about Dion, and it's all good, Coach. The content is always on point. Always on point.
I love it, man. So look, there it is. We coming to 74-76 here in 1 or 2 seconds. I want to go through some of these comments. But y'all tough. Adrian Crook, hating on what? 2 toes, half a leg, failing health in Colorado due to weather. Oh my God, boy, y'all tough. They getting on you. Let me see here. I want to read some of these comments. Okay, and Gerald D says, I totally agree. I completely agree with this call. Excuse me. Coming to you right now, 7476. Talk to us.
Hey, Coach, what's going on? This is Andre Brown from Gainesville, Florida.
Andre Brown, talk to us, baby.
Listen, at the end of the day, let's go back to what everybody said. Dion also said, if people listen to the further comment, he say all of the all-pros that's in the NFL this year, none of them had stars, or they had 1 or 2 stars. They wasn't rated. All of the defensive linemen were the 4 or 5 stars coming out of high school, and they made it. So what we saying is, it's just different. It's just different coming out them homes. I'm a 2-parent home. I got 2 kids. I got one that played receiver. I got one that played offensive line. You get what I'm saying? You have to think to play offensive line. You got to think a little bit different on the offensive line. When you play a defensive line, it's just straight go get it. It's just straight go get it. And a lot of them kids, they looking for a way out. I coach Little League. I coach high school. But this the biggest thing that people need to understand is we are their dads for most part. So you stand in kids' life, and this is what I'm gonna tell anybody. It ain't nothing like standing over a kid who died who played one day for you. The next day you bury him, and it ain't nothing. He did nothing wrong. He was a great kid. He was just turning it on. He was really just a kid from a single parent home, but he was trying his hardest. He was doing everything he could do to get it. But sometimes it don't make that way. So sometimes we need to just back ourselves up and let's stop looking at everything from one side of the spectrum. Like right now, we got a kid going to the league. They calling us out here in Eastside trying to see what's going on with Anthony Richardson because they want to make sure they're gonna make the right decision. So when people say stuff, we take it for a grain of salt or we take it for granted. But we shouldn't take it for granted because that's why a lot of kids are going to Colorado and y'all don't get it. Because them parents sitting down and Dion telling them the real. He ain't telling them no BS. He ain't telling them no lies. He's telling you how to get it. You get what I'm saying? And that's strictly it. So I appreciate your time, Coach. And I just listen for you off air.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Great commentary. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Guys, go ahead and call on in. Phone lines are open. But 12, what's your thoughts on that? And then I have a couple of rebuttals here and I'll pop some comments up.
Yeah, it was a very, very look. We spoke about this some shows ago. I like the point he made about coaches being there for the kids because sometimes, unfortunately, or it could be fortunately, that male role model it may not be around. And so we spoke about this coach. I can remember all my coaches from Little League, and it's all good. So, kudos to you. Kudos to the gentleman just called who sometimes when you hear these athletes speak, they talk about the coaching. They talk about how they were treated, how they when Caleb Williams spoke, he spoke about how his coach, even though his father is in the home, helped him be a man, how his coach guided him. And he spoke about what about Lincoln Riley? And so we can't take for granted what coaches mean to players as well. So I thought it was a great call and commentary that the gentleman just spoke about from Gainesville. It was excellent.
Nah, yeah, you're 100% right. Like, so what he said, and he said a very important piece. I just said that earlier. They getting called about Anthony Richardson at the little league level to find out what kind of dude this is. We're talking about first rounders are talking about guaranteed millions. Yeah, these guys ain't multi-million and billionaires for no reason, these owners, right? You have to do your due diligence when you're getting these guys. And we've seen the league do that. When they look into a guy like a Ryan Leaf, I just watched his story not long ago on I believe it was I Am Athlete or Pivot. I always get those two confused because I see so many of the same faces. But Ryan Leaf, right? They missed it. They missed it. They missed the kind of guy he was through all of the investigating, or maybe they didn't miss it and say, hey, once we get him in, we could try and fix it because he's such a good talent. I don't know that to be factual, but it could have went either way. I'm not sure. But like I said, give us a call, 862-799-9956. Hold on. My dog Alexa that came on. Hey, y'all about to get a call from Alexa. Dog, hold on. Alexa, cancel. Y'all about to get a call from her in a second. She started reading out the number. But anyway, 12. So like I said, let me look at some of these comments as we're waiting for people to hear. And Adrian Cook says something up here earlier. Let me see here. And I have to disagree, Adrian. Adrian Cook says, man, I've never seen a coach as a second father. That's the man training me at the moment. I don't know your background, Adrian. But as coaches, high school coaches especially, even these little league coaches, they spend so much time with these young men. Think about this. As a high school coach, I spent from 7:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning to 8, 9 o'clock at night with these dudes every day. Every day. And they don't have a male voice in their homes. There's no male voice in their home. There's nobody telling them, hey, man, don't do this. And it hits different. It hits different. So I don't know your background. I don't know your family structure. But I would have to disagree that you – but again, I read your comment as what you see. But trust me, there's a lot of difference. 12, talk.
Yeah, and maybe, unfortunately, Adrian, he may have not had an impactful coach in his life, which is I think is unfortunate, because throughout my life playing sports, I'm sure throughout your life, Coach Hayes, I've seen impactful coaches. And when you listen to a lot of these Hall of Fame guys, whether it's on any level, especially the NFL level or the NBA level, it's almost always goes back to a coach who has impacted their lives from the beginning up until the end. You can go check that, Adrian. So unfortunately, I mean, hopefully there are coaches out there who are impacting these kids' lives. But I know in my life being down in South Florida, I can name you pretty much all my coaches, and they were stand-up guys, and they were impactful. Come on, man. They were impactful. Coach Jack, Coach Randall, and I'm talking about optimists. I'm talking about, and I'm 6'7", I'm 7, 8, 9, Coach Randall, Coach Todd, Coach Chris, all these guys, Coach Scott, like these guys growing up at Scott Lake. Shout out to Scott Lake, right? Not Risco. I know some of y'all at Risco Park too, and some of y'all at North Dade. Yeah. So if you have some impactful Coach
Miami Lakes,
Miami Coach Lamb, I mean, it goes on and on, you know. And so coaches matter, and the male influence, positive male influence matters. Tough love, someone spoke about it. Tough love is there, and when you find out that a coach cares about you as a person, forget your talent. You got talent, but you know, coach, I'm sure that you've taken care of so many young men and not even said anything to anyone, buying them food, something going on, being a mediator in the family. See, people just think coaching is one hat. To be a coach, you have to have different hats. Now, it's different on the college level because Saban or Cristobal, they can delegate. Oh, well, hey, you go be with V12, whatever's going on. but coach is only one coach on a high school level, on an optimist level. So again, coaches matter.
And again,
I've had a lot of impact from coaches.
And to that point, this is the only thing I've ever asked from players. Send me a picture, bro. That's all I want. Bro, you know I've been to people's houses at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Because guess what? The boy sneaking in the house. Mama catch him. I'm going to call coach. Call the house. But you make them feel that comfortable that they can do that. Right? You've had kids that, I'm not going to say, we have kids that parents left them in another country. I want y'all to hear this. A parent took this kid to another country and left him there and took his passport. Get a phone call. He goes to the embassy, gets back there, but has no family to go to. We've had coaches that had that kid move in their house with them. Hear what I just said. Your own family, just out of spite, bro. And now this kid is doing extremely well. Extremely well. Extremely well. You take a kid on your team that the family say, move him in your house so he could graduate high school and move on. Bro, it's so many stories like that across the world. And if you go watch any of these NFL Hall of Fame speeches, all of these guys talk about a coach that impacted their life. And they never talk about the play calling. They never talk about the X's. Man, such and such was the best play caller, and that's why I'm here. You didn't hear Edrin James talk about Tony Dungy. Man, Tony Dungy, man, he was the best play caller. That's why I'm here. You hear these players talk about the impact they had, the conversations they had off the field, in the locker room, or in the office. That's what makes the difference. So I hear where you're coming from, Adrian. Not to jump on that or whatever the case may be, but I want to make sure that people understand. Are there some sucky coaches? Most definitely. Are there some great coaches? Most definitely.
And then, coach, you never know. Like, times have shifted, right? And maybe because of some of the laws and things that's going on now, coaches may be afraid to sometimes take, young men under their wing. It's just so much, you do something out of the kindness of your heart and it's flipped into something different. So,
sure.
We those are yesteryears, but they're also good coaches.
People
now,
still doing it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. and I can understand some of the points where, maybe depending on the era you grew up in, someone said that they're doing it for the payday now. Coaches may not be there now for the kids and how they was back in the days. For us, maybe they're just trying to get to the next level so they can better themselves. So, it can go both ways.
Big shout out to, I think that's Shank in the building, boy.
What's up, Shank?
So, yeah, definitely, guys, go ahead and call in. The phone number is 862-799-9956. I would think this thing would be jumping. Everybody got something to say. The poll is jumping at now it's 52% that Dion was right in his comments, 48% wrong. I would love to hear. I want to hear from a lady who has a son, hopefully, or another dad. I appreciate Q Dog typing in, but I want to have a conversation with them.
Now, let me ask you this, Coach.
If you don't mind calling in, it'd be great.
Now, let me ask you this. This is maybe a little bit controversial. If it was anybody else that said this outside of Dion, would they be trying to cancel that coach?
No. I think that here's where the racial component comes. I truly believe if a white coach said exactly what the verbatim, like read the script and said what he said, I think they would have taken the single parent family home, the single mom, and equated that to a black family. I believe that in today's society. I really believe that. That they would have said in their mind, it was, I want a white QB, black players on defense at D-line. Because what do you typically see at D-line? Let's be real. What do you see at D-line? Black players, right? What do you see at O-line? Starting to see more black players at O-line, but you typically see a lot of white players at O-line. And then quarterback, that has changed. But I think that would have been the psyche and the way that people are subconsciously thinking. But I'm going to say this. I had a conversation at work about this with some ladies. And I just played. I said, ladies, I want y'all to, because, I work around a lot of ladies. I want y'all to hear something. I put the laptop on the conference table. I wasn't at work. Lunch break. It was on lunch break. And I hit the button and I let it play. That same segment I played for y'all, I played for them. As he's talking, I could see their wheels turning. Nose flaring out, lips balling up. Right? And when I stopped it, I just asked him one question. You think he was right or wrong? Nah, Coach, he was wrong, Coach. He was wrong. So I just said, why? I said, why was he wrong? So what you trying to say? Single parent, single moms can't have good football players? I said, is that what he said? No, I'm just saying, like, why this kid got to have this and why that kid can't have that? I said, well, you have to understand what he's talking about. He's talking about different positions. And so then they asked the question, well, what's different? I said, well, the quarterback, leads teams and so forth, and this person. So you saying single moms can't raise leaders? No, I'm not saying that. By the time they finished, I barely said anything. They actually talked themselves into understanding what Dion was saying. Believe that, 12? I barely said anything. They talked themselves into understanding. But on a surface level, the soundbite is a defensive thing. As soon as you say single mamas, what? What you saying? I can't? No, that's not what he was saying. He really was trying to say, I want a dog, and I want that kid to have somebody he's fighting for. That mama to be his why, in essence, and so forth. I'm highly disappointed, 12. You know why I'm highly disappointed? Because nobody's calling in. I done paid all this money. Matter of fact, I'm slapping the whole chat right now. You too, 12, just because you're on the screen, you get one too. Coach, you got to make the phone line better, Coach. I made the phone line better. Ain't nobody calling.
But, Coach, guess what? This preseason, brother. I guarantee. Hey, listen.
There's 240 people in here. There you go. There's 240 people.
Yeah, but guess what? Hey, chat, y'all got to make me proud. When the season starts, we got to blow this phone line up. I want Coach to be getting on that thing like the old AT&T operator. Hold on one second. We got to blow this thing up. I'm talking about pregame and postgame. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Y'all already know how I get.
Sometimes I had to wake somebody up, boy. The chat done jumped alive. Here we go. All right, so with that being said, we back at it. All right, I want to make sure. Let me see here. Oh, size 8 ain't playing. Go ahead and call back in. I know that number, 6455. Talk to me. I know who you are. Uh-oh. Well, maybe we don't. All right, we crashed that plane. I tried to get to you. I don't know what happened, Lexus. Tried to get to you. We coming to 9317. 9317. Caller, talk to us.
What's up, Coach Hayes? Hey, my name is Dave Davis.
What's going on?
First time on.
First time caller.
Can you hear me, Coach?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear, man. Hey. First time caller, talk to us.
Yeah, first time caller. I picked up on you probably about a month and a half ago, man. Enjoyed the show.
Appreciate it.
And talked about Dion when he left Jackson State. Things that's you got me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear. Go for it.
But you got me, so okay, yeah.
So here's the problem. Hold on, I'm gonna start your time over. If you're trying to listen to the show, it's gonna be about a 10-second delay. So don't worry about the show on your TV or whatever. Just listen through the phone and you'll catch up that way.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna start your time over because I know your first time calling. It's about a 10-second delay. So if you're trying to listen to what I'm saying on the TV, it'll be a huge delay. Just listen to us through the TV. I mean, through your phone.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Go for it, baby. 2 minutes. Talk to us.
Yeah, I saw one of the comments that talked about, the kid's background, like Deion's doing the background search, don't determine their destiny. But those things he's searching for is what put fuel on that fuse, that fire, that put that log on the fire to give those kids the determination. Not saying knocking anything for a single parent or a dual family, but he's looking at what fuels the kid, what's to get the best, that allows him to get the best out of that kid that's coming to his program. Because he's on a short window. Because I think he's looking at a 3 to 5 year window. He wants to turn that program around. Just like you just talked about the NFL program. They investing millions and millions of dollars into these kids. They're doing a background search. Like you talked about with Anthony Richardson. He's calling this Little League coach. So Deion is doing his research so he can build that solid foundation and get that program turned around. So he's looking at all aspects to get solid kids in there that's going to be quality. So he don't give 50 scholarships and have 10 guys fall by the wayside. So he knows what he's getting when they come in. Just my aspect of it. But I appreciate the time. Thank you for what you got to say.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you for calling in. And don't be a stranger, man. Come on, call back whenever you're ready.
Oh, not a problem. I'm always there. I saw what you had. Nobody calling in, so let me go ahead and plug in.
There you go, man. Coach was drowning, boy. You threw me a life raft. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. All right, good call right there. We got 2 more people coming to 2175 here in a second. Call 12. Any response to that?
Yeah, sometimes you can always tell the reaction of things by what people do or how they act. And I'm not sure if you heard anything, but I'm sure that Deion has players currently on the Colorado staff that single parent household and dual. And I haven't heard any news that people are now taking their kids away because Deion made this comment. So I think it's kind of safe to say Deion appears to, from the Buffalo standpoint, Colorado Buffalo appears to be okay and, insulated in Colorado, and they just probably going to keep plugging. I think we're talking about it more than he probably is even thinking about it right now. He's moving on. Springtime is coming up, and he's trying to put a good quality product on the football field.
Gotcha, man. Big shout out to P-Lo. Shout out to the best channel on YouTube, Coach Hayes Football. I really appreciate that. And real quick, my man Studio One on the line right there. I see him. Kerry says, Coach, did you get that message back from Mario yet? Nope. But, oh well. Anyway, let me get the studio right quick. Y'all clap it up for Studio One Live with the what? That boy got the soccer locks. Let's go.
What they do?
Studio One in the building.
I'm looking at Alilo Wednesday score for me right now. Alilo Wednesday.
I need 2 locks. Hold on. I need 2 locks right now. 2 locks before you get your point across. We're going to hit you with the 2 minute. Go ahead. 2 locks.
All right. For the night or tomorrow?
For the night, man. Come on. We betting the night.
Tonight we got one more game in the Mexico League. Cimarrones de Sonora. Lock them in. Mexico League de Expansion.
Deportes. Hey. I'm loving it. Studio, you got 2 minutes. Talk to us, baby.
First, let me ask you a question, because I didn't call in because I didn't get the sound bite. I didn't know what was going on, but you slapped it so hard, I had to call in. So give me a short description of what was said. I want to get my point across on it.
All right, real quick. I'm going to pause you for the calls for a quick minute. I know we got some people on the line, but here's what happened. Because Studio, that means you late. You was late to the party. So
yes, sir.
Don't be coming late to the party. Real quick. Deion Sanders was talking about Jalen Hurts, blah, blah, blah. And then he said he was talking about recruiting characteristics of players. And he was saying what he wanted was a quarterback to have a dual parent household, 3.5 GPA or higher. Preferably their dad was a coach, make good decisions off the field. Then he went to the offensive line and said he'd like to have the same thing, dual parent household, maybe a strong father in the home, a 3.3 or higher. Then he went to the defensive side. He said, man, I want a defensive end that got a single mama. One that he didn't say understand the struggle. This is all I'm just summarizing. He said, I want one that's going to get it. Like, mama almost missed a plane. Somebody that's fighting for something, somebody that's going to get it at all costs. So that's basically what he said.
Hey, man.
I'm starting
I was just talking to my friend about Deion. He asked me, he said, are you tired? I said, I was with Deion. I loving all this stuff. But I'm getting tired of this now. It's getting like antics now. I mean, okay, Colorado, you're getting this publicity, and I'm watching how they're shaming our black people. Like, for example, you say something about Jalen Hurts. That's the first thing you said. I remember about a few days ago, I see an article about him and Dwayne Wade's wife. I said, man, what is going on with our black people in these positions? They shaming George Foreman right now. So I'm kind of worried for Deion. Everything's looking all beautiful. He can't be touched. That was racially kind of. Anybody else would have said that. You're right, coach. They would have looked at him. What you saying? What you saying? Why they got to have a three? Most of our black people, Miami, any part of Florida, they barely sniffing a 3.0. So what you saying, Deion? You just coming from a black college. Left one, got a lot of heat for that, and then you make comments. It's just something's not right about this picture, man. I hope success for him. I love Deion, but I got a feeling, man, he's setting this man up for some failure, boy. I just hope not. I hope they do good. I'm rooting for them, but I'm just watching how they do us right now. Look how they did Ed Reed. Man, that's straight embarrassment, man. Then he went off in the sunset. Like, just be honest. We thought Ed Reed ain't really want to coach. All of a sudden, he's the coach. And one more thing before I go. I'm a conspiratorial type dude, right? You mentioned that Virginia game last other show. I said, man, did you see the end of that game with Mario and the refs scripted how not to cover the darn game?
I got you.
It was 2.5 spread, and they win by 2. They could have punched it in. I said, this shit is fucking sickening. Listen.
I'm finna crash you, studio. I'm finna crash it.
Oh, one more. 1-11 against the spread.
That boy hung himself up. I ain't touching. That boy hung himself up. I swear to God, I ain't touching, studio, but Mayday, pull up. Pull up. All right, we going back, man. I don't know what happened to you, bro. I don't know what happened in the studio. He just died off. I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, let's go and get back to this. Lexus called in. I see she called back in. Size 8 on the line. Talk to us, Lexus.
You have to remember your own rule. You said there's a 10 or 15 second gap between what we're hearing on the headset and on the phone. You hung up on me for the 20 seconds was up. Remember y'all, abide by your own rule, would you please? I just want to say, you said people are not calling. When people are calling, you're giving them 2 minutes. And you had that on Raggedy phone where people had to call 50 times before they got through.
Well, you can't watch. You got to put the phone to your ear.
You gave them more than 2 minutes.
So, Lexus, when you talk on the phone, that's live. You can hear me. That's live. But if you watch the TV, that's about a 10, 20 second delay. But anyway, go ahead, because your clock running. Talk to us.
That's all I have to say. I don't say what I want to say about the topic, but you were fussing about people not calling. I'm telling you, that's why they're not calling. Because you giving them 2 minutes and you hanging up on them. Where when you had the little Raggedy phone and it took us 50 tries to get through, you let us talk when we got on the phone. That's all I got to say. Just get the next call.
I'm coming to 70, 75 right now. I don't know what to say, 12. Talk to us, 12.
No,
Talk to us, 12.
No, they just saying, hey, get it together. You know what I mean? You gotta have it on the phone. Sometimes you hear it. It's a little bit of delay on the phone as well, but not a long delay. I'm called in.
All right. So we're going to the next one. 70, 75 coming to you. Call or talk to us. 70, 75.
Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's up, man? Talk to us.
Coach. It's still Kane. It's Alex. But anyways, about the topic for tonight, I mean, I feel like I don't feel like I take it too personal what his comments were. I mean, I feel like he was just trying to get a point across in terms of describing the type of player that he's looking for at each position. Do I think that he's really going to stick to that criteria in, you know, his selection process? I don't think so. I mean, you give me a 6'6" DN that has just been killing it in high school and you know is interested in going to Colorado. You think he gonna look the other way because he comes from a 2-parent household? So you know, I don't know how much I would actually put on that in terms of it being factual or not. I do feel like there's just a lot of hype around Deion and the Colorado program and people thinking that they're going to win the national championship first year, and it's not going to happen. This is just not going to happen. I mean, I feel like they're not big enough up front. That's going to take some time to develop. I mean, if you think about Miami, I mean, one thing that's been holding us back is our linemen, the people who we got up front, the line of scrimmage, you know. So, and I feel like that's something that takes time to build. So, regardless of all the antics, and I love Deion. I was a Deion fan growing up. I mean, I love the dude. But I just feel like there's a lot of hype around it. It is what it is. He's trying to bring attention to his program. And that just kind of is. It's going to be what it's going to be. But I don't know how much I put into, you know, his comments about, you know, quarterbacks from a 2-parent household and D linemen from a single parent household and things like that. I can see how people might make inferences about whether it's, you know, it could be racially motivated. And I do think that you are right in terms of whether, you know, if it was like a white coach or something and he's making these comments, people might interpret that as it being racially motivated and things like that. But I mean, that's kind of my take on it, Coach. But that's pretty much it.
I appreciate
it. I'm coming back for the fantasy league, Coach. So don't worry. I'm coming back. I'm coming after you, Coach. Whole little Timmy's going down.
Excuse me. The champ is here. The champ is here. Trying to tell you the champ is here.
Two champs are here.
You a champ? Ain't you a champ?
Champs are here. Hey, and guess what I meant?
Yeah. Lightweight champ, heavyweight champ. Anyway, man, I appreciate it. But go ahead. I'm gonna let 12 respond. Coming to 70-21 next. Thank you, man. Appreciate you so much. Go ahead.
I think for the fantasy league this year, I think the champions should not have to pay to enter the league this year. That should be a prize as well. If you win, you back in the next time automatically for free.
I think his thing was on mute. I think he was on mute that one. We coming to 70-21. I want to say this real quick before I go to 70-21. I agree. I still think people are taking it too literal. It is a guideline, right? I'm going to say this and I'm going to get to 70-21. I want a Ferrari, but it don't have heated seats. Am I not going to buy the Ferrari? Yeah, I'm still going to get it. Do I want heated seats? Sure. It's a guideline. I think it's a guideline. And you take every case by case. But we're saying a guideline. You may have a kid that has 2 parents and a kid that has a single parent. But once you dig deeper, the single parent may be better as an individual. But these are guidelines. And I'm going to tell y'all this. I'm going to say this last time. Every coaching staff does it. Every coaching staff does it. This ain't a Deion Sanders. You think he just made this up? You think Deion Sanders sat down and said, No. The psychology has been put there. I'm telling you, when these GMs be drafting these players, these are the things. I'm guaranteed he got that from probably some NFL GM scouting department, because the statistics says the probability is better if you get these type of players with this type of background. That's all. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it has to happen. I think we're taking it too literal. Before I get to 72, let me get a shout out. 499 from Shad. Coach, how would it be interrupted if parents prefer their coaches to have 10 toes? Interpreted, excuse me. You said interrupted. That's just a low blow, Shad. That's just a low blow. But that's funny. I ain't gonna lie, that's funny as hell. 7021, call and talk to us. You on the line.
All right, what's up, Coach? This is Lakers fan 097 from Birmingham, Alabama.
Lakers fan, Birmingham.
I just wanted to come in and say, first of all, I think nothing was necessarily, just like you have said, this is probably in all the coaches and GMs probably have this type of preference. But the fact that he aired it out, I think he kind of aired it out to sound smart because he wanted to sound some type of way on TV. And I think it was kind of ridiculous to say because I think some coach, there's going to be coaches that use that against him in recruiting battles because you probably know from being a college coach or even from having players that went to college, you probably seen the recruiting battles and stuff like that. Somebody's going to use that against them. And I think the people that think it might have some racial undertones, there's black family, 2-parent households out there. You know, I don't think they get covered as much, but there's a lot of 2-parent black households out there, and great fathers and great mothers and black families. You know what I'm saying? And there's single parent white households out there as well. You know what I'm saying? So I think people saying, "Oh, it must have been some racial thing, this, that, and the other." Well, that's kind of ridiculous, and maybe it's just me getting defensive, being a black man, you know, but. There's a lot of great, and I've been around teammates that had a lot of great black fathers who were the main reason their sons were going to college. You know, so I could say some racial undertones, this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what Deion says because the greatest college football coach is still coaching in football. The greatest team is still out there, the Alabama Crimson Tide. So it ain't gonna make a difference, you know. It ain't gonna make a difference what he gets in the portal, what he tries to recruit, because Alabama gonna have the number 1 or 2 recruiting class every single year, and we gonna still win championships. Roll Tide, and God bless you, Coach.
Hey, hold on. Let me tell you something real quick, brother. I need everybody that's in the sound of my voice on this airplane to buckle up right now. I highly advise no one slap their pilot. But this plane has crashed.
Yeah, he
holla!
He need to figure out what he. Hey, Coach, he talking all the Alabama act like they won something last year. They were begging to get into the national championship. Y'all a bunch of beggars down there in Tuscaloosa. And the second thing is, you better replace Bryce Young. Talk to me about that. Call back and let's talk about that. Don't play.
Yes, sir. 5373 coming to you next. 5373 coming to you next. Appreciate it, Joshua Steels for the 49. Every coach has said this around the fellas. Of course they do. That's what they talk about. I mean, baseball does it. Basketball does it. I mean, anything that's in a competitive nature that's high value, people want to know the background of it, and there's a psychological component to it. That's all that is. Coming to you right now. Real quick, what's up, my man? E in the building, actor man. E, y'all check him out. E, put on, I don't know what show. He in some new show that's coming on TV, but dog being so much work, I can't keep up. But y'all hit him up in the E, man. I'll put it on the screen. They can check you out.
Yeah, I think a new show come on like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. He like one of them type shows, so he need to put it in the chat. So
my dog will be doing that next Everest commercial. Hey, you. Yeah, you sitting on the couch. Get on up. Yeah, come on and sign up right here. 862-799-9956. And get the education started right here, Coach Hayes Academy. I appreciate it, man. Let me go ahead and get the 5373. Been patiently waiting. Call and talk to us.
Hey, Coach Hayes. My name is Sheila. I'm calling from Colorado. I called in once before.
Yes.
But I just want to talk about that whole Coach Prime thing. I think to the previous caller, it's a preference in terms of what he's looking for. It's a preference. And, you know, I prefer to live in $1 million mansion, but my house ain't worth $1 million. So it's a preference that you have. And I think it's because of the notoriety Coach Prime has now that everything gets blown out of proportion. Everything gets, let's analyze this. And he said, I got wart on my finger. Well, I know where he got that wart from. Now let's talk about that. He up there with them white folks. So it's like he wants a preference. And I think, like when you talk about a dual parent household, I think it's a characteristic that those kids have. It's a protective characteristic. It's a let's take care of my family. Let's do this kind of stuff. And the ones that are single parent households, just like he was in a single parent household, and he was aggressive and he wanted to get better for his parents, his mom, and all that stuff. So I think that's just part of what he prefers in a player. But if you look at his current roster at Colorado, he has a lot. So it's not a racial thing because he has a lot of black guys that's currently playing offensive line for him. His quarterback's black. He's got Tyler Brown came from Jackson State. He's got the Washington guy that came from Kent State with his coach, that's a black guy. He's got other black guys on that offensive line. So it doesn't eliminate black guys from being offensive, but it doesn't even eliminate white guys from being on the defense. It's just a mixture of players, because I can guarantee you, if he gets in a recruit that's not in a dual parent household, but that's a dog on the line, regardless of who he is, he's going to take him because he's going to help him win. So I think we just, put too much into some of those comments that he makes. And we know that he's going to say what he feels. So it is what it is. We shouldn't just make it be more about more than what it is. And I'm looking at this clock and I still got 6 seconds, 5. So that's all I got to say.
All right. I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much. Say your name again. Sheila from Colorado. I appreciate you calling in and great insight. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks. Bye now. All right. Good call from Sheila. Coming to 1044 next. 1044.
Coach, there was a comment that someone said that's the Studio One Live. I'm not sure the connection. Maybe he can help us out. That's the same stereotypical comment made by Prime as well. Lamar isn't paid, period. That made sense for me, brother. Call back in. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I'm going over here to 1044 here next.
Baltimore just being cheap. That's what that's about.
That's what that is. But I love it though. They say New Buck says, tell them, Sheila. Excuse me, Kai Green, great mind, Sheila. So there it is. I really appreciate that. I love it when the ladies call in and get a perspective. Dog, I came to 1044 and they hung up. So here's the problem when you guys watch the screen. When you watch the screen, you got to listen for the sound, because when you watch that screen, you're going to be behind. So I'm going to start cutting you off. But anyway, we're waiting for somebody else to call in right now. We had 1044 on the line. They hung up. I guess they got tired. It's like that old meme. You see the meme where the man was digging, and he was right there to get the diamonds, and he turned around and started walking back, and the other dude kept going, and he got rich. You were right there. All right. Oh, here we go. This M. I remember M. I need you to call in, M. You called in one time before. I ain't seen you since. M, I need you to call in. I need you to talk to us about this topic and what your thoughts on it is. All right? Definitely need you to call in, M. All right? Don't be scared. Jump on in here and make it happen. All right? Let me see. Somebody says call back 1044. Yeah, I don't know who 1044 was, but they were getting ready to call in. But anyhow, like I say, 241 people on here. Been on an hour and 34 minutes, so we're going to probably wrap this up in a little bit. But I just want to bring this stuff up, man. Right now, we currently 53% of the people say that he was right. It's been teetering and tottering back and forth. So that's pretty cool, man, to kind of see. It's kind of 50-50 split. And I think it's 50-50 because it's all on how it's interpreted. You know what I'm saying, 12? I really believe it's all on how things have been interpreted by the listener. And what they're listening to. But I would say this, and I'll say this one more time. Every coach. Yeah, let's not even go to every coach. I'm gonna tell you this, and I may be wrong, but I heard this and I was told this, and I may be wrong. Now, you said what's the number? I got the number literally right here, and the number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And
hey, Coach, hold on. Coach, hold on. I'm going to defend him. Maybe she's driving and listening and not watching. So come on, we got to get. Hey, ladies, 12 is here for you. Let my Mercedes hold for the back.
But 2 if you're fat.
Can't say that. Get that. Hey, no, don't say that. Don't get canceled, coach. You can't. Coach, don't say that.
Hold 4 in the back, but 2 if you Lizzo. Hey. All right, here we go. You kind of blurry over there. Is it me? I'm blurry or you blurry? But anyway, the number is 862. Hold on, 862-799-9956 is the phone number for those that are listening. 862-799-9956. So here it is. I want to say this piece before she calls in or whoever calls in next. Hey, hold on. Look at Reggie. They don't know. We sprinkling a little seasoning to it. We ain't gonna spread it yet. But he's talking about B12 Coach Hayes still unsung. We ain't gonna be unsung long. We ain't gonna be unsung long. But anyway, real quick, I want to say this. I heard this about Urban Meyer. I heard that Urban Meyer would not hire a coach if he was not married. Why do you think that is, 12? If that is true, and if anybody can take this snippet and send it to Coach Zach Smith, I know he does a show. I don't know this to be factual. This is what I heard. So if you could take this snippet and send it to Coach Zach Smith, I know he does like the Minister Sports. I would love to hear his point of view on that. But I'm coming to 5989 in 1 second. 5989, 1 second. But I heard Urban Meyer would not hire a coach unless he was married. Why do you think that is, 12?
Oh, I like this riddle. Because he don't want him to be caught in the bar with a lady sitting on the lap with a drink.
No. It was saying because a coach who is not married, this is what I heard. A coach that is not married doesn't understand commitment. And what commitment means. Like being committed to the team, being committed to a job. I know, but you said it a different way.
Okay.
I think it sounds a little different when I say not being committed to your wife, apparently, but being committed to the team. Because he's at a bar when he should have been on the team playing. But again.
And that's my point. And that's our point with Dion. Room for interpretation. You see that? I mean, you stick with coaching 12. We gonna teach you a few things. He see it one way, I see it another way. We come together. We basically saying the same exact thing.
Hey, y'all, let me know if 12 is lagging right now because you look like a big lag on my side. Just let me know that. Yeah, look like you lagging a little bit.
Okay.
But let me know.
Let me see.
Real quick, I'm gonna get to this call at 5989. We got 5989 on the line right now. Going to them right now. I'm not sure. Let me know if you get a thumbs up if he's lagging or if I'm lagging or whatever the case may be. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to this call. 5989, you on the line right now. Talk to us.
Hello, Coach Hayes. How are you?
I'm doing
Maya.
Maya, how are you, Maya?
LOL. It's LOL. How are you?
LOL, Maya. Talk to us. What's your thoughts?
Okay. Listen. Anytime you mention Coach Prime, I'm a Primetta, so I'm here, okay? Listen, I believe what Coach is saying about single mom. I'm not a mom yet because I just turned 30, but at the end of the day, I believe that single mom and their kids, who are athletes, they're hungrier than someone who grew up in a two-parent household like I did. So I don't have a problem with it. I think people are just being judgmental over Coach Prime and what he says and taking it out of context. Most of those kids are very hungry and they do very well in sports. So I'm not sure why everybody's getting offended and taking this really to the next level. What he said wasn't wrong. Most of those kids do turn out to be more hungrier and better and end up in the NFL.
Okay, and I can't say that. I can't say that with I'm sorry, Nadia. I can't say that because I haven't done a study on it. But go ahead, finish your point.
No, if you do some research, you'll find that most single mom who raise athletes are more better positioned for the NFL than you would someone who comes from a two-parent home who is just striving to become the next, possibly, say LeBron or something like that. But I think single parent household need to be appreciative and not, people shouldn't really judge a single mom. I'm not a mom yet, but at the end of the day, I've been around people who are single mom, and they're not all ghetto and bad or whatever like people make them out to be. They do raise really good kids, and yes, sometimes you need that dad. You really do need a dad, but at the end of the day, you have some really strong women who are Black women who are really strong, and white women, because I'm mixed with white. But at the end of the day, you do have strong women who, raise these kids up to really become stars. And if you do research, you'll find that that is true. Not everybody is ghetto. Not everybody is lacking in a single parent home. And I think research needs to be done so that people can stop judging other people in terms of that. You're a coach. Let me just say, you're a coach, and you know that some of those kids that you work with who are single, come from single parent home, are hungrier. They're more,
I'll say this to you, Maya. I'll say this to you, Maya. I think that could be factual. But I've also had double parent or dual or married families. I think it is an individual thing. I think the biggest question is your why. I don't think the question is not maybe the hunger, but why you're hungry. That's the question. So a single parent kid, his why is to get mom in a better situation. Right?
Right.
I think a double parent who is well off, right, or whatever. And I think it also is economical status too. Because you have single parents who economically don't, just because you're a single mom don't mean you downtrodden, right? Like you got middle class single parent moms. But I think it becomes your why. And your why is, if I'm a single mom, I feel like as a son, I gotta take care of who? Mom. Even if she has it.
Exactly.
So, for example, my mom, we're a middle-class family. Not one day have I ever went in the refrigerator, there was never food. Not one day, I ain't never been no drug dealer. Not one day, I never went home hungry, I never ate or never went hungry. Not one day, if I need to go on a field trip, Mom, the field trip costs $10. Well, I just can't do it, baby. That's never happened to me. But I always wanted to take care of my mother. And that was my why, regardless of what she had. For the dual family household, I think their why is different. I think it's more of to make their parents proud. Does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make sense?
You're absolutely right. And that proves my point that I'm saying. That proves my point. What I exactly said is that the single family or the single athlete, I would say, who is striving for a higher goal is to take care of mommy, is to be able to take care of his family, to be able to provide for them. But when you come from a two-parent household like I have, and you have the ability to go to Spelman or have ability to go wherever you want to or vacation, it's not that purpose for you. It's like, whatever, I'm going to do it anyway because my parents, have it. But when you come from a single parent household, you're striving a little bit harder. And I think the parents, like you said, you did it, you wanted it for your mom. Your mom is important. That's the goal, your mom, your family, your sisters and brothers. So I really appreciate Coach Prime for saying that, because it's true. And we can't just not accept that it's true. And I think research needs to be done to find that it is true.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're 100% right. But guess what? Maya, Miss LOLM, appreciate you so much. We got another caller calling in, but don't be a stranger.
Thank you so much.
Come hang out with us anytime.
Thank you.
We land your plane. There you go. Ding dong. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Coming to 8245. I know my dog 12. The boy got a new face on, boy. You want to put some hair and makeup? What you doing?
Hey, listen. Hey, my computer, man, I got it from Studio 183. That's how old it's been. So every now and again when it get hot, that thing get blurry.
That boy got a thing from the flea out the back right there where they used to sell rims, speakers, and they got an old laptop back there thing.
Right, before the game room.
All right. Yeah, let's make it happen. All right, here we go. T. Hines, where you been? Appreciate some of that plane skidding off the runway. Boy, I tell you, let's go to get 8245 right now. 8245, talk to us.
What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach?
I'm good. Talk to you, man. Who is this?
This is Nick from New Orleans.
All right, talk to me, baby.
Yeah. I just think like the last caller said, man, we just gotta be real about the situation, man. And how like I waited so long to talk, I don't even know what I want to say, but we just gotta be and stop being so soft and taking everything so serious. You know, everybody know what come out the project. He gave you a good explanation of what he wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know too many men getting vouchers in the projects, you know. So it comes from one parent household, you know. I don't know too many getting vouchers. So you know exactly what you want. You know the people be hungry and motivated to get out to where they came from. And I'm all over the place, Coach. You gotta give me
take your time, baby.
Do too much of the yeah. But I agree with the last caller, basically what she was saying though, what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, and like I said, I mean, she made some valid points, and you know, like I said, I don't know if 12 had a chance to hear this, but I'm trying to ease you through it. We don't have another caller, so once you put the seatbelt on, I ain't gonna crash you out until somebody call in. But I was saying that a single parent, 12, I was saying this piece too.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. I ain't never went. I was telling LOL Maya over there that I never. You been to the house? I ain't never opened the refrigerator and there was a light bulb in there and a box of baking soda. I always had something to eat. I ain't never had to slang no dope on no corner. Duck made sure we was right.
That's for sure.
But here's the difference. My why is still, and I think, and I'm really speculating at this right now, I think maybe that may have been some of what we're saying was that as boys, we want to take care of mama. Regardless of their financial status, we want to take care of the old girl in the sense of saying, even if she was middle class, whatever, I want to be able to be provider. I want to take that role to help, but she don't have to do it no more. She's done enough. But I think the dual or the two-parent home is more of making them proud. You understand what I'm saying? Making my parents proud. Because daddy took care of the old girl. We good. But now I want to make my parents proud. That's why I do what I do. Versus a single mom is that he wants to take care of mom and make her proud.
Yeah. Hey, Deion said like with the single mom, with the two parents, he said the kids did not take instruction from men, you know. So you say you want somebody on offense to be able to take instruction from a man and not take it a certain way because they're used to that. You know?
I love it, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for calling in, man.
Hey. Call
from
New Orleans, man. What you know about that king cake, baby? You don't got your king cake on deck. What's going on?
Yeah, it's Mardi Gras today. We try to shake back right now from the king cake. You know?
Okay, hey, don't eat the baby.
No, you can't eat the baby. That means you got to buy the next cake. You know?
Yeah, I already know. I just want to make sure. Okay, so hey, happy Mardi Gras to you, brother. Good call, man.
Hey, hold on. Real quick before you go. Speaking of Mardi Gras, we ain't got no caller. What? Hold on. How long is Mardi Gras?
How long? Mardi Gras, you can say it's like 2 weeks, basically. And it'd be like, it's like 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? We have parades for like 2 weeks. I don't want to lie, but it's like 2 weeks when the parade started. I'm saying 2 weeks because the parade started like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, well, hold on. I got to get my bees. Hold on. I got to get my bees. Hold up. Where your bees at, 12?
Bees?
At 12? Coach got them hurricane bees. But you don't know, you don't know what Coach had to do for these bees right here, boy. My Lord. Hope my mama ain't watching.
Man, you ain't had to do too much. You're big dog status. You ain't had to do too much.
There you go. I'm loving it. Let me take this down so y'all can see my bead, boy. You see I got them orange and green bead for the Mardi Gras. There it is.
Sir, yes, sir.
All right, I'm loving it, man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right.
All right.
All about the you, though. It's still all about the you, though.
Yes, sir. All about the you.
And we ain't talking about LSU either.
No, not in no.
There you go.
I love
Tell
it.
you know.
Y'all all day.
Y'all be blessed.
You too, man. All right, man. That was pretty good. We about to round this deal out too. I think we kind of beating the horse in this thing. I don't want to talk about it. It was something that came across my timeline, made it happen. And I'm going to take this phone number down. Got a land plane, take phone numbers down.
They say you let the ladies talk all day, coach. They say gotta be careful, man. They say let ladies talk all day.
They said let them talk. Hey, Ellen said, Coach, what you do for the bead? Boy, if I tell you I got to kill you, Ellen, because guess what? Boy. Anyway, we're going to leave him right there. Just know it's a long flight from New Orleans, if you understand me. But anyway, 12. Yes, sir. Hey, I want to go to Mardi Gras. I got one of them hand grenade things. Remember that? The little long whalebone, what they call them, hand grenade? Yeah, them things got me right one time, one summer. I had to tell you one thing about New Orleans, boy. In the summer, don't go in the summer, boy. That thing smells so bad. But anyway, we got one more call on the line. They snuck in before we got out of here. Let's go and get them some love right now. We got a call in here. 9493, calling you on the line. Talk to us. You the last one for the night. Talk to us.
The conference has been locked.
Go ahead, caller. Talk to us. You're the last one on the line. 9493. If you don't know your phone number, you about to be out of there.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I got you. You was almost you crash landing. Talk to us.
I gotta disagree on the with the dual parent home.
Okay.
Because the reason I say that, because I grew up with both of my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But we wasn't poor, but we wasn't rich, you know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My pops was there in the household, but he didn't take care of everything, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He made sure we were straight, but I still want to take care of my mom's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though he was doing his part, but it would be hard times at times too. It was more good times, but sometimes it was a struggle.
Sure. So will you disagree to say what though? What are you saying when you say you disagree? What are you disagreeing about?
Like as far as he's looking for the single parent.
I think he hung up, man. I think he got lost. I heard him say, what the? And it hung up. I don't know. Maybe he lost the signal. But I'm not sure. I guess he was talking about Dion. He's disagreeing with Dion and Shad.
Yeah, that's probably why I for me, I think that Dion, he could have, like I said, maybe he should have said active parents. But this doesn't, insinuate that,
or involved. Yeah,
involved with active. And I get the premise. You could be a dad and be outside the home, but as long as, like he tried to allude to, and you alluded to, Coach, with him, he got divorced, but he was pretty much active in Shadur's life after the divorce. So, and I get the premise. I'm saying, hey, listen, when you have an active father in your son's life or your daughter's life, we're talking about football players, so we're talking about the men. I think, even I give you a good example. Even like for me, I'm active with my son, and I've coached him in a couple of different aspects. So I give a good example. One day he played baseball. He plays baseball, and me being in football and being competitive, I understand how coaches think and what's going on. So he wasn't really playing well for a portion of the season. And in baseball, you're batting 1 through 5, it's 5, 1 through 8. That's how you bat. And if you're not producing, you slowly but surely get pushed to the bottom. So one day, finally hit him. Coach yanked him, put him on the bench. So I guess he thought I was going to rah to the coach about benching him. I said, you know what? The coach is absolutely right. Absolutely right. You have to be able to produce. When you produce, when you practice, you get better, and you get pushed back up in the lineup. Because coaches are here to coach, but they also want to be competitive and win. And if somebody else is outworking you, the coach is going to pull you. Now, maybe if I wasn't active, he could have been talking back to the coach. He could have been, but they sat him down. So there are different nuances when you're involved in your kid's life, especially with sports, that other coaches see. They see that your son is coachable. They know that you as a parent, you're not going to go out and if they snatch him, and put him on the bench, go off. And your sons and your daughters, they get a chance to see how you react to when a coach does something. Now, as long as he ain't doing nothing crazy, but hey, man, let's play. You better than this. Work hard. Those are things that somebody may take and say, well, that's negative towards a child. But at the end of the day, it's a competitive sport. You have to be able to take direction and be able to take constructive criticism and move on. Coach, when we were growing up, some of the things that they said to us, boy, people would have been fired, Coach. Right?
Hey,
you talk about camping. They want to have a job, they want to have a house, but nowadays it's different. You have to know how to coach these kids.
Yeah, and that's a societal thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna end this poll right now. The winner is right, meaning 53% was right, 47% says wrong. So I'll go ahead and stop that poll right now. I appreciate everybody that was a part of it. Thank you. 286 votes. So I really appreciate it. We still got 205 people in the building. So thank you guys so much for checking us out. 12 as always, man. You my brother. I love you, man. I need to call you right after this too.
Yeah, sounds good. Great too, bro.
We'll definitely chop it up. We'll make it happen, man. And this is the Coach Me Coach podcast. Dom had to take off tonight. Of course, he's got to take care of some other obligations, but he'll be back. But stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. We had 30,700 subscribers. 30,700 subscribers. We're trying to get to 35,000 by April 4th. Guys, we're not on track. The team is letting us down right now. The team is letting us down right now. I need y'all to go in and get some teammates. It costs nothing. It costs nothing to get a teammate. Come on, y'all. Let's make the dream happen real quick. The more, what's up, man? I remember you calling in before. $5. Man, stop capping. Both parents are vital to child development. That is 100% factual. I don't think anybody disputed that. But we also want to make sure, as my man said, we're not trying to disparage the single parent mom as well. So both things are true. We have great single parent moms and also have two parent homes, right? But as well as you can have double parent home and it not be a good environment and a great single parent mom. So of course, all things are true, but would you like to have both parents in the house? Yes, most definitely. It is proven. It is statistically proven that guess what? Both parents in the home, the child develops at a different rate. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, man, listen. I see everybody in the chat. I miss. Hey, listen. I tell you what. If y'all get, where you at now, Coach? 31? Hey, L&V. Come on now.
Yo, less than 60 seconds.
So listen. Let's do this, Coach. You at 30 what? 30 what?
30,700.
All right, listen. Y'all tag somebody. Y'all get another account. If y'all get Coach to by 32, by maybe 2 weeks, I would tell Coach I'm going to take off and not be lazy, and I'm going to come on the show more often. Y'all want to see more V12? I need some more subscribers. See, this is my time off. Because y'all, I get so emotionally drained with them canes. I need some months off. And so, but y'all help me. I help Coach out. Get me on more. Because Coach, I said, Coach, get me on some more. I love interacting with. Listen, his
this
chat
is stuff I deal with, y'all. Hey, This is what I did with my dog right here. Look, right, this is my dog right here. I did
That's
with
my
him, man.
chat. So
I love it. Real quick, man. Miss Wilcox told us Dion was going to say this 2 years ago. Shad, stay off my phone, man. Stay off all this. Shad, stay off of everything you see. Anything you see got me on it, I need you to stay off of it, Shad. I mean right now. Reggie, $5. Coach, I want my kicker from a single-parent trailer park. Matter of fact, Shad, I need you to go by and pick Reggie up. I think he in the Atlanta area. Go pick him up, and both of y'all stay off my stuff, man. So appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate everybody for the donos. Thank y'all so much. We out of here. Peace, love, and hair grease.
Stay tuned for
line. Oh, I forgot. Sunday.
Yeah.
Hold up. Sunday is going down. Hashtag Crush Groove. Miami Flow versus Big Groove in the great debate. Y'all got to come check it out. Don't miss it. I know y'all not Miami Hurricane fans, everybody, but come check it out. Good content. Please love and hair grease. We'll check you out. With all that being said, Coach catch you at the 50-yard line. Peace.